The roar of the crowd still echoed in my skull like a fading thunderclap. But down here in the dim guts of the stadium, it was just the hiss of showers and the drip-drip of water hitting tile. Game day. Ohio State versus Michigan. We'd clawed our way to victory, mud-caked and bruised, my ribs screaming from that last tackle. I was Jake Harlan, 22, starting quarterback from a nowhere town in Indiana, built like a freight train from years of two-a-days and protein shakes. Football wasn't just my ticket out, it was my armor. And right now, stripping off my pads in this steamy locker room, I felt invincible. Until he walked in. The door creaked open, letting in a sliver of fluorescent light from the hall. Footsteps, heavy but hesitant, slapped against the wet floor. I didn't turn around at first. Thought it was coach barking orders or some freshman fumbling for his towel. But the air shifted, thicker, charged, like the split second before a blitz. I knew that gait. Steady and hurried. The kind that turned heads on the field and off it. Ryan Cole. My wide receiver. My best friend since freshman orientation. The guy who'd dive into traffic for my passes, who'd split a six-pack with me under the stars after losses that tasted like ash. Water pounded my shoulders, hot enough to scald away the adrenaline crash. I soaped up, eyes half closed, mind replaying that Hail Mary he'd snagged in the end zone, his body twisting midair. Pure poetry. Good. He was beautiful out there. Always had been. But admitting that? In this world of grunts and high fives, where bro meant everything and nothing, it'd shatter us both. I'd buried it deep. That pull in my gut whenever his hand clapped my back a beat too long, or his laugh cut through the chaos like sunlight. Buried it under stats and scrimmages. Until tonight. The showerhead next to mine sputtered to life. Too close. Inches away. My heart slammed harder than any linebacker. I froze. Suds sliding down my chest. The chlorine tang biting my nostrils. Don't look. Don't. But my body betrayed me. Head turning slow as molasses. There he was, Ryan. All 6 feet 2 inches of lean muscle and quiet fire. Water sheeting off his skin like he was carved from river stone. Blonde hair plastered dark. Hazel eyes fixed on the drain. But his shoulders. Like he was holding back a storm. He didn't say a word. Just stood there, letting the spray hit him full force. Arms braced against the wall. Seconds stretched into eternity. The locker room emptied out, guys hollering fades. Doors slamming, leaving us in this echoey tomb of tile and steam. My breath caught, ragged, mingling with the rush of water. Why wasn't he leaving? We'd showered side by side 100 times, but this felt exposed. Like the air between us hummed with secrets begging to spill. Jake. His voice cut through, low and gravelly, barely audible over the downpour. Not a question. A plea. I swallowed hard, throat tight as a noose. Yeah. Man. Kept it casual, like we were dissecting plays. But my pulse thundered in my ears, drowning out everything else. He shifted, water sluicing between us. Closer now. So close I could smell the salt of his sweat under the soap, earthy, but the scent that haunted my dreams after late-night film sessions. His hand brushed my arm. Accidental? Deliberate. Fingers lingering, calloused from gripping balls and weights, tracing a ghost path up my bicep. Electricity shot through me, hot and unbidden, pooling low in my belly. I jerked back, slamming into the faucet, a gasp escaping like steam. What the hell? My voice cracked, sharper than I meant. Fear twisted it ugly. But under that, hunger. The hunger. He didn't flinch. Just met my eyes, those hazel depths swirling with something fierce, unguarded. Desire. The same war I'd fought alone in the dark of my dorm room. Sheets tangled. Hand fisted in frustration. "I can't do this anymore," he whispered, the words fracturing like ice under cleats. His breath ghosted my neck, warm against the chill creeping up my spine. "Pretending. Watching you out there. Calling plays like you own the world. And knowing I'd burn it all down just to touch you like this." Time stopped. The water's roar faded to a distant hum. My world narrowed to him, lips parted, chest heaving, droplets clinging to his lashes like unshed tears. American dreams be damned. The cheers, the scouts, the brotherhood that demanded we stay straight as arrows. This was us. Two farm boys from the heartland, forged in the fire of gridirons and glory, cracking open under the weight of what we'd hidden. I should have shoved him away. Laughed it off as post-game haze, the kind that made rookies puke in the bushes. But my hand moved on its own, cupping the back of his neck. Temp brushing vetstrens. Prof. Meaty. Fuck. A sigh escaped me, deep and broken, echoing off the walls. His skin burned under my palm. Fever hot. And suddenly the steam wasn't from the showers, it was us. Combusting. He closed the gap, forehead pressing to mine, noses bumping in that clumsy, human way that made my chest ache. "I saw it tonight," he murmured, voice trembling like a leaf in wind. "The way you looked at me after the catch. Like I was more than a stat. More than your receiver." His free hand found my waist, fingers splaying over old scars from sophomore year's torn ASIL, marks he'd traced in jokes. But now they seared like brands. "Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me, and I'll walk." I couldn't. The lie died on my tongue, bitter as the Gatorade I'd chugged at halftime. Instead, I pulled him in, lips crashing against his with the force of a blindside hit. Salt and heat in him, finally, gloriously him. He groaned into my mouth, low and guttural, hands roaming desperate, mapping every ridge and valley we'd both memorized from afar. Water pounded us merciless, slicking our slide, but it couldn't drown the sounds, my hitch of breath as his teeth grazed my jaw, his sharp inhale when I nipped his collarbone, tasting the clean bite of soap and the musk beneath. We moved like we played, instinctive, synchronized. His back hit the tile, cool shock against fevered skin, and I pressed in, thigh slotting between his, friction sparking white-hot. "Jake," he gasped, head tipping back, throat bobbing under my lips. A laugh bubbled up, half sob, as his fingers dug into my hips. It's been killing me. Me too." The confession tore free, raw as a pulled hamstring. I kissed him slower then, savoring the velvet drag of his tongue, the faint stubble rasp, the way his body arched like he was leaping for that impossible pass. The stadium lights flickered off one by one, plunging the world into night. But here, dawn cracked through the high window, golden fingers painting his face in hues of promise. Morning light on a boy who'd just become my everything. We didn't rush to the end. Not yet. Just held on, breaths sinking in the haze, whispers weaving promises against collarbones. "We'll figure it out," I murmured, tracing the line of his jaw, memorizing the curve. Team first. Always. But we both knew this was the real play. The one that redefined the game. Months blurred after that shower. Practices turned electric, glances lingering in huddles, excuses piling up for extra routes that ended in tangled sheets at my off-campus apartment. Ryan's laugh filled the voids I'd never named, his hands steady in mine under diner booths in Columbus dive bars, where the jukebox crooned Springsteen anthems about working-class hearts breaking wide open. America's heartland? Yeah, beer and burgers, tailgates and touchdowns, but ours? It beat queer and quiet, fierce against the grain. The conflict hit like a championship fumble. Scouts swarmed senior year. NFL whispers turning to shouts. My agent pulled me aside after a pro day workout. Harlan, you're golden. But that vibe with Cole? Tone it down. League's changing. But not that fast. Ryan overheard. Face paling like he'd taken a helmet to the gut. That night, in the dim glow of my truck's cab parked by the Scioto River, he broke. What if they find out? What if it costs you everything? I grabbed his face. Thumbs smudging tears he'd deny later. You think I'd trade this for a jersey? For some suit's nod. The river lapped lazy at the banks. Crickets chirping a summer dirge. Fireflies winking like conspirators. Football's my fire. But you're the goddamn oxygen. He searched my eyes. Hazel meeting blue. And something shifted, fear melting to steel. Then we fight for it. Together. We did. Came out in fragments. A shared post-game interview where our knees brushed under the table. Hands intertwined at a pride rally on campus that drew death threats scrawled on our lockers. Teammates split, some ghosted. Others showed up with awkward beers and, I got you. He grunted over coffee one dawn. Steam curling like our secrets, play your hearts out. Rest is noise. The climax crashed during the Rose Bowl. Down by 3 seconds ticking. I dropped back, eyes locking on Ryan streaking downfield. The pass spiraled true. Leather kissing his palms like fate. Touchdown. Uproar swallowed the stadium. But as he spiked the ball and turned, helmet off, sweat-streaked grin blazing, the world hushed. He crossed the chaos, yanked me into a hug that blurred the line between brothers and lovers, cameras flashing, crowd chanting our names. No whispers needed. We were seen. In the locker room after, showers running cold now. He pulled me close again. Changed everything. That first one, he said, voice thick, lips brushing my temple. The scent of victory clung, grass. Confetti rained under stadium lights. But our dawn was internal, unbreakable. We signed as a package deal, me to the Browns, him to the Bengals, rivals on the field, anchors off it. Ohio boys through and through, proving love wasn't a penalty flag. It was the win that mattered most. And in quiet mornings, tangled in sheets with coffee brewing and birdsong filtering through blinds, I'd trace his scars and think, one whisper started it. But we finished the story.